Today we are going to compare and order fractions. In order to compare fractions, they must have a common denominator. So here are our steps. Step 1, if they have the same denominator, we're going to just compare the numerators. And then step 2, if the denominators are different, we're going to get a common denominator. And then step 3 is to compare the numerators. So we can't do anything if we don't have common denominators. I wanted to go over the inequality symbols real quick. So here we're going to just use less than or greater than for today. So if we look here, this first symbol is less than, which is fewer than, and then this symbol is greater than. Okay, and then obviously we also have our equal to symbol. Okay, so number 1, we have two fractions. So remember, the first thing we're going to do is see if they have common denominators. In this case, they do not. They have a 20 and a 15. So we are going to do step 2, which says if the denominators are different, get a common one. So one thing that you could always do is look at your fraction and say, can you simplify the fraction? In this case, the answer would be yes. I could say what number divides into 12 evenly, that also divides into 20 evenly, and the answer would be 2. 2 divides into both of them evenly. 4 also divides into them evenly. So we can say 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. So now we're comparing 3/5 to 11/15. Okay, so that still didn't help us with the common denominator, but it did help us to find the least common factor, because we look at our smallest denominator and we say, is there anything that I can do to 5 to get to 15? Remember the equivalent fractions that we were doing? Is there anything I could do to 5 to get to 15? And the answer is yes. Remember, we can multiply by 3. And what we do to the denominator, we're also going to do to the numerator, right? So in this case, I'm going to move over here now. And we said we're going to multiply by 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 3 is 15. So now that I have common denominators of 9 over 15 and 11 over 15, I compare the numerators. Okay, so I have a 9 and I have an 11. Is 9 greater than or less than 11? It is less than 11, so 9 is less than. 9/15 is less than 11/15, and then that's your answer. Okay, moving on to number 2. Number 2 says 10 11ths and 8 ninths. So I don't have anything I can simplify here. So I look at my smallest number and say, is there anything I could do to 9 to get to 11? If the answer is no, then we need to figure out what is a least common multiple. So multiple means like taking 11 times 1 equals 11. There's nothing I can multiply 9 by to get to 11. 11 times 2 is 22. There's nothing I can multiply anything by 9 to get to 22. 11 times 3 is 33. Can I multiply anything by 9? So then 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. So we still haven't matched up here yet. 11 times 4 is 44. 9 times 4 is 36. So you just keep going to find the least common multiple. Or you can just switch the denominators and multiply them times each other. Sometimes that gives you a really big number, but you also get a common denominator. So if we look at 10 over 11, the other denominator is 9. So I'm going to multiply this entire fraction by 9. 10 times 9 is 90, and 11 times 9 is 99. Okay, so then I go to 8/9, and I'm going to multiply it by the opposite fraction's denominator, which is 11. Okay, so then 8 times 11 is 88, and 9 times 11 is 99. So if you notice, by multiplying by the opposite fraction's denominator, it gives us a common denominator because 11 times 9 is 99, and 9 times 11 is 99. Okay, so now we're comparing 90 over 99 to 88 over 99. So when you're rewriting this, it's super important to keep it in the same order so that our inequality symbol is correct. Okay, 90. Now we compare our numerators. 90 compared to 88. 90 is greater than 88. So our answer is greater than. Okay, I want you to push pause and try this one on your own and press play once you have finished. Remember to follow the steps. Okay, so if you found the least common multiple, you would have gone off to the side or in your head, said 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 3 is 15. Oh, wait, I can get 3 to 15 also because 3 times 5 is 15. Or you do what I said and just multiply by the opposite denominator. So 3/5 opposite denominator is 3. So I multiply by 3, and then 2/3 opposite denominator is 5. So I multiply that fraction by 5, and we get 15 as a common denominator. That's also the least common multiple, so it works out perfectly. 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10, and 3 times 5 is 15. Keeping my order, this one's first, so 9 over 15 compared to 10 over 15. So our numerators is what we are comparing, 9 and 10. 9 is less than 10, therefore 3/5 is less than 2/3. Also, when we have smaller denominators, it's super easy to compare using a model. So for this one, I just want to do a model real quick, okay? So if I have two models and my first fraction is 5, let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to break this up into 5 parts, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and it's 3/5. 1, 2, 3/5, right? And this one is 2/3. 2/3. Okay, so we see this right here is a little bit bigger space left over than this one, so that means that this one's bigger. So anytime you think that you can draw something to help you, that would just be to check. Common denominator is what we are doing, so that is expected, but this is just to check to make sure maybe your math is right, maybe you're unsure about your multiplication facts, so drawing. So this one used up more space, so that one is bigger, okay? So going to ordering. So now that we know how to compare, we got to order. Okay, so if we look here, we want to go to our smallest denominator, which is 2, and say, is there anything I can do to get to the biggest denominator, which is 12? Yes, 2 times 6 is 12. Cool, so that could be our common denominator. Go to the next number. Is there anything we could do to 3 to get to 12 as well? And the answer is yes. 3 times 4 is 12. Is there anything that we can do to 6 to also get to 12? And the answer is yes. 6 times 2 is 12. So this one works out nicely. So what's our common denominator here? It is 12. So we have 1/3, We have 5/6. I don't need to do anything with 5/12. And then we have 1/2, right? Okay, so in order to order it, we went common denominators. We said that we're going to multiply 1/3 by 4. 1 times 4 is 4, and 3 times 4 is 12. We're going to multiply 6 by 2 to get a denominator of 12. 5 times 2 is 10, and 6 times 2 is 12. And we're going to multiply this by 6 to get to 12. 1 times 6 is 6, and 2 times 6 is 12. Okay, and then we also have our 5/12 here. So here are our 4 numbers, and it wants us to order it from least to greatest. So now we're just comparing our top numbers for our numerators. I should use the proper term, huh? Okay, so least to greatest, this is the smallest one, so that goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Least to greatest. Okay, so then when we order it, though, we're going to put it in original format. This was first place. Original format's right here. So our least number is 1/3. This is second place. Original format's right here. This is 5/12. Third place. Original format is right here. 1/2. And then last place, our original format is right here. 5/6. And we have ordered it from least to greatest. Okay, so looking at our denominator, we look at our smallest number. Is there anything we could do to this number to get to 15? The answer is yes, we can multiply it by 3. Then we go to the next smallest number. Is there anything we could do to this number to get to 15? 9 times anything equal 15. The answer is no, so that doesn't work. So I erase it and rethink. Now I've got to think about multiples, okay? I'm going to go with my biggest number. 15 times 1 is 15. We've already tried that. 15 times 2 is 30, okay? Is there anything I could do to 5 to get to 30? Yeah, times 6. Is there anything I could do to 9 to get to 30? 9 times 3 is 27. Does that work? No. So let's think of the next multiple. 15 times 3, which is 45. Okay. Is there anything I can do to 5 to get to 45? Yeah, the answer is times 9. And then right here, 9 times 5 equals 45. So what's our common denominator? 45. So let's set up our fractions. 4/9, we said we're going to multiply by 5. 4/5, we said we're going to multiply by 9. And 13/15, we said we're going to multiply by 3. Okay? Go ahead and finish this up, order it, and then write your final answer, and then press play once you have finished. Okay, and this actually was an order in the original problem, but it won't always be like that, so don't count on it. But you should have gotten 4/9, 4/5, and 13/15. I'm looking at my work. If yours is not correct, press pause and try to see where your mistake was. Okay, if you have any questions, please make sure you let me know.